Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Transformers Retro Headmaster Autobot Brainstorm. Thank you for watching my videos. If you like what you see, please comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more action figure reviews, and don't forget to ding that bell so that you will be notified in the future when I drop new content. And with all that said, let's get into it. And now, as we always do, let's first of all take a look at the packaging, which is retro in this case. And I just want to say, this Transformer is not mine. It was loaned to me by my son, the Digital Cave Boy, so that I could do a review on it. So, thank you, Digital Cave Boy. I do appreciate it. And as far as the packaging, it's exactly like I remember the classic packaging being. Large Transformers logo on the fin here. I guess you call it a fin. I don't know what you call it. That thing that sticks up. Then some product shots of it transforming in 4 steps, which is not true. Then on the front, Headmaster Autobot Brainstorm. Nice G1 artwork. And 8 and up. And the classic Hasbro logo from the 80s. It also comes with this head. Autobot Arcana, the Headmaster. Includes snap-on weapons and accessories, and then in some foreign languages. Transformers. On the bottom, some more product shots. Barcode. Symbols I don't know. Foreign languages I don't know. And assorted small print. On this side, Transformers, product shot, Headmaster Autobot Brainstorm. And the same on this side. Around the back, this great, awesome G1 artwork. Transformers, you got Fort Max, and probably everything that was in that product line for that year, which was 87, I think. It is a world of constant change where things are not what they seem. It is the world of the Transformers, a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons. Then here we have our favorite warning. Don't stick things in your pie hole. More small print. Classic Hasbro symbol. Authentic. And some addresses stuff. Manufactured in Vietnam. Then we have a version of the original tech spec cards. I don't know if you guys remember, the old ones were quite a bit longer than this, and the stats were stretched out, I guess, more. And function, biomechanical engineer, the strongest tyrant cannot crush freedom of thought, is his quote. So full of ideas that he often begins disclosing a new one before he finishes explaining the old one. And then again, that nice G1 artwork and his strength, intelligence, speed, and firepower. And that covers it for the actual packaging. Now, what was in there besides the Transformer is the instructions. This is kind of retro looking, but not precisely. Of course, they couldn't put the actual retro instructions in here because this transformer transforms completely different. But as you can see, nicely and clearly illustrated on how to transform him front and back. All right, that covers the packaging. All right, and now let's take a look at Brainstorm in his vehicle mode. He is a plane car, or a car plane, perhaps, or maybe just a floating car. I do not recall. But that's what it looks like to me. He looks like he flies a lot. Hence the wings and the steering fin and the weaponry on the nose cone. And of course, excuse me. Of course, this is just a repaint and a slight retool of his Titans Returns release. Just in his more G1 colors. The only real retool I think on this one is the actual face of the Headmaster. Or the robot's head. You know what I mean. This guy. And like all the other Titans Returns figures, the head does go into a cockpit when he is in vehicle mode. Visible all kinds of stuff syndrome. But overall, I think he is a nice looking vehicle mode. Unfortunately, I did not have the Titans Returns version to compare them with. But I do have a different bot that we can compare him with when we get to that. And he does have wheels on the bottom, and he rolls sufficiently. All right. I do believe that covers vehicle mode. And now let's take a look at a comparison with a Titans Returns figure. And this is the closest one I could find to him, which he is a retool and repaint of this Titans Returns Blur. And if you look closely, you can see where they are the same and where they are different. If I get my big fat hands out the way. Alrighty. Now, since we're done with that comparison, let's see how he stacks up with a couple of his wave mates. Size-wise, at least. There is Hardhead. And Chrome Dome. And over here we have Alternate Universe, aka Dead Earthrise Optimus Prime, Leader Class. can see he's quite a bit longer than Prime. Maybe you can see. So, okay. Not quite a bit, just a little bit. Alright, you park it over here, dead boy. And with me as always, of course, is the Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee. Alright, that covers comparisons. And now comes the comedy portion of our show, where I attempt to transform this Transformer and you all laugh. But before that, let's take a look at the Headmaster Arcana. And he does have limited articulation. His arms will go up and down, and they will go out a little bit because there's a little itty bitty ball joint in there. And his legs, he will go in the sitting position. His knees will bend. So there we go with that. And we'll take a look at this portion when we get him all transformed and talk about the robot mode. Ah. I think the only paint detail is right there in the face. So, and how you transform him, of course, is quite simple. You put his arms down by his side, then fold his legs up, and twist his head all the way around. And I forgot to mention that in the articulation. His head will do a 360. And there we have Brainstorm's head. Then we want to remove his weapon here. And we'll take a look at that. Nice details in it. Just molded plastic, no paint. Where'd that fuzz come from? Get off of there. And it's still on there. There. There's his gun. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to transform this guy. And we'll start with the arms. There's a peg and a hole right there. You just kind of undo it, and it's on this double hinged mechanism. And separate the back and open these panels up and fold the legs down, and they pop apart when you do that. You want to fold this fin in and then close that up. Or did I forget something? No. On this side, just close it up. Fold his toes down. Turn his arms down. This part, just fold it down. And as you can see, he's got a wheel right there. Go. And it kind of sits right there. I thought it went in, but it doesn't. Then arms up, and there are tabs right here, and there's a slot in there, and just goes in there. And this part right here just flips back. And that flips back. And now with the Headmaster gimmick, you can see the head becomes the peg, and it goes right into this hole. And it just pops in there. And you mash that all the way in. I think I did that step early. Alright, and I like to leave his wings out like that, but you can fold them back if you so desire. And there we go, the transformation. That was actually not too bad. Next, we'll talk about the figure himself. And now let's take a look at the figure, like I just said we would. The head sculpt is really the new part, and again, I wish I had the Titans Returns Brainstorm so that we could compare them, but I do not. But there we go, nice decals on the wings, or the wing looking bits. And again, some decals here. This part you can work off, and it can be used as a weapon or shield, or a shield weapon. Let's see. He kind of hold it in his hand. I think it fits better on the arm there. Pew pew! But I just like to leave it on the back, and you can see here 2 really long pegs, and there's the slots, and voila! And his weapon, it's a bit of a tight fit, but it will go in his hand, and he won't drop it. Well, you know, I forgot something in the transformation that I just saw. We forgot to fold the seat back in. There we go. Now he's fully transformed. I feel so much better. And there we go. We will take that off. Now let's talk about articulation. And of course, because the Headmaster's head spins all the way around, Brainstorm's head will do a complete 360. He'll look up that far, down that far, and there is a little bit of waggle, because Arcana's head is on a ball joint. Arms, all the way around, go up that far. Rotation at the elbow, or just above the elbow. About a 90-degree angle at the elbow. And no rotation at the wrist. It will go nowhere. No, wait. There is rotation at the wrist. How about that? That covers the arms. Then he does have a waist rotation that will go all the way around. Legs, he will kick up that high. And if you kind of move it around the backpack piece up that high. He does have a cut here for a upper thigh swivel, which goes all the way around. Knee. Let's see. I think he might get better. No. Yeah. A little better than 90 degrees. And I guess you could say his toes tilt up, but really that's due to transformation and no rocker. And now let's talk about the comparison. And again, the closest figure I had to Brainstorm is the Titans Returns. That covers bot mode, in which he is a retool repaint of Blur. And Blur doesn't want to stand up, he wants to run away. But as you can, excuse me, you can see where the similarities are and where the differences are. The heads, of course, are different, but you can see where the arms and legs and the torso, where it has been reused and where it has been remolded. Like the wing parts here, this part was remolded. And of course the nose cone was, I don't think this was retooled from this. I think this is mostly new use. And then, of course, the vehicle mode hand covers are different. And that's done. Let's look at some size comparisons. Here is his wave mate, Chrome Dome. And another one of his Autobot wave mates, Hardhead. Face forward, dude. Stop being distracted. And the, let's call him leader class, Netflix Earthrise Optimus Prime. And of course, with me as always, again, Titans Returns Legends class, Bumblebee. And that does it for the size or scale comparison, whichever you prefer to call it. And now we'll talk about my final thoughts on Retro Headmaster Brainstorm. Again, this is just a slight retool of the head and repaint of the Titans Returns version of this character. So unless you have strong ties to this coloring or this head sculpt in particular, and you already have the Titans Returns version of this character, you can probably skip it. If you did miss him the first time around in Titans Returns, he's not a bad Transformer and worth a look if you're interested in Headmasters. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please comment below. Like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more action figure reviews. And don't forget to ding that bell so that you will be notified in the future when I drop new content. And with all that said, I'll see you next time.